Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I finally have some good news actually to report from the Call of Duty franchise. I kind of got to the point, man, where I figured that I would probably never make a positive video about the Call of Duty franchise ever again. I kind of just, accepted at this point, man, the games that are coming out, the way that Activision Blizzard as a company operates, right? Like, there's just no way that they're going to be able to recover from the mess that they've kind of put themselves in, right? I mean, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 that came out last year is not good. Let's just call it for what it is. It's not good. The last, 4 to 5 Call of Duty games have just been so mid-tier, right? Like, it's just kind of sad to think about. Like, for those of us who grew up playing Call of Duty, like, back during the actual Modern Warfare 2, back during, MW3, BO1, BO2, during these eras of Call of Duty, man, when we were during, I would say, the golden age of the franchise, man, like, you could just pick which one you wanted to play for the day, and it would just be awesome, because, that was back when COD was good. That's back when the developers listened to the community, back when the content was actually decent, back when the games actually released somewhat finished. But of course, that's just not what we've seen in recent years out of Call of Duty, and a lot of longtime fans like myself have found ourselves kind of just jumping off of a sinking ship that's also on fire, if that makes sense, right? Like, there's just no real good news to report from COD these days, but that changes actually now, because over the last few days, the OG Call of Duty titles have been seeing a complete resurgence in player counts, and I already know what people are thinking, oh, Optimus, everyone's already known about plutonium, bro. Everybody already knows what that is. Everybody's already heard of that, Actually, this has nothing to do with plutonium. This is the original Call of Duty games themselves. The original Golden Age Call of Duty games are finally making a massive resurgence, a very long overdue resurgence. And it all really boils down to one massive change, actually. And you probably have already heard a little bit about this, right? But the whole Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, you probably have heard at least some headlines surrounding it, right? The FTC and whatnot were kind of looking into it and seeing if they were going to approve the transaction. From what I understand, their appeals have been denied, meaning that Microsoft is basically on track to acquire Activision Blizzard, which obviously would put Call of Duty and several other massive franchises under the Microsoft umbrella, right? And that news has been kind of dominating the gaming industry over the last few months, right? And well, a couple days ago, I don't know, a week or two ago, maybe at this point, some very long overdue, very desperately needed updates were made to the matchmaking systems of most of the older Call of Duty games on Xbox, right? So if you've tried to load up Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare 3, any of these older COD games, right, on an Xbox 360 in the last decade, pretty much, since they've been out of, you'll notice that, it was impossible, basically, to find lobbies, right? There was basically nobody playing the game. Anyone who was playing was just a hacker or a modder. And don't get me wrong, those are still issues on the servers, if you try to go back and play them now, but basically a massive change was made to the servers that made matchmaking way better on all these titles, right? So honestly, at first, I didn't believe it, right? I saw Twitter going crazy talking about, oh, bro, you can play the OG CODs again, bro. Microsoft updated the servers and the matchmaking, man. You can finally get on and play the old CODs, right? And honestly, bro, I didn't believe it, right? My Xbox One, which I had all these games backwards compatible on, has been sitting around collecting dust in a box for the last, 3 years because I haven't used it at all. And so I decided to pull it out, dust it off, plug it in, and load these things up and see what would happen. And dude, I was very pleasantly surprised by what I saw. I loaded up Modern Warfare 3 last night and tried to just run it for the one time, right? You literally can find matches in these older Call of Duty games. Honestly, I would have never thought that in 2023, I would be sitting here telling y'all that you can more easily find a match on a Call of Duty game that came out 10 years ago. If you Black Ops 2, for instance, right? That was 2012, so 11 years? You can find a match easier on Call of Duty games that came out 10 to 15 years ago than Call of Duty games that came out 9 months ago, man. That is insane to think, but it's true, bro. And people on Twitter even backing this up, bro. You can find matches in these old COD games, instantly now. And I will go ahead and clarify. A lot of the, modder and hacker problem hasn't necessarily gone away. For instance, like I said, I loaded up some Modern Warfare 3 yesterday, and there were people people running like infinite XP lobbies and stuff like that. But if you do play long enough and you do matchmake long enough, you can find games without hackers and modders finally. And like I said, for anyone who's tried to load these games up in the last decade that they've remained irrelevant due to Activision abandoning them, this was like damn near impossible to do even like 6 months ago. You simply could not find reasonable lobbies in these games, but now, man, hey, you finally can, right? So everybody was kind of wondering like, well, why all of a sudden did Call of Duty update all of these old game servers? Because, you know, people have been saying that they want to play Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 3 and the OG MW2 and whatnot for years, right? Like, it's not like this is some new concept or something, right? But it turns out that it happened suspiciously around when Microsoft's deal to basically acquire Activision Blizzard was finally getting pushed through / allowed or whatever, right? And people were speculating whether or not Microsoft was behind this. And it is now confirmed that Microsoft was behind this. So basically, Microsoft went in on behalf of Activision Blizzard, from what I understand, and they went ahead and made changes to the servers to actually liven these games back up. And there's a really good reason, actually, why Microsoft would do this. And it isn't really simply because they're acquiring the Call of Duty franchise. It's because all of the old Call of Duty games are eventually going to get added to the Xbox Game Pass, which means if you're a subscriber of Xbox Game Pass, eventually, you'll be able to download any of the Call of Duty games from the past for free, along with your Game Pass subscription, right? So hypothetically, there are going to be people now who are like fucking 8-9 years old, right? Who got Game Pass or whatever for Christmas from their parents, and they're going to be playing Black Ops 2 and BO1 and whatnot for the first time ever. Like, these games have a legitimate shot to have a genuine revival that allows them to be playable. Like I said, there's still hackers and modders and whatnot in a lot of the lobbies, but with this update in general, it honestly gives me hope that maybe when Microsoft has this deal said and done, they'll actually do something about that too, and they'll make it to where you can legitimately play these titles again without worrying about matchmaking, without worrying about hackers and modders and whatnot. Honestly, that would be a dream come true. That would be the best possible outcome. And realistically, it's the best possible outcome for everybody involved, right? Because for Microsoft, right, they get to put a bunch of blockbuster Call of Duty titles on Xbox Game Pass, which incentivizes people to have Game Pass more. People can actually go back and play these games, and if they're actually like alive and there's player bases, they can buy DLC and it would make sense. And that would make Activision / Microsoft even more money. It would keep more people playing in the Call of Duty franchise overall, because I'll be real with you, man. If they got Prime BO2, Prime Modern Warfare 2 back up and going, bro, and there was thousands of people online playing constantly, and you could play without worrying about hackers and modders and whatnot, dude, I would genuinely be playing these games every single day. Like, I'm so serious when I mean that. I can't tell you how many hours I put into Plutonium, right? You've seen it over the years in the gameplay and whatnot, man. I've been playing Plutonium for a while, bro. If they get the original experiences back up and going, bro, there is absolutely no way you're getting me off of BO2, bro. I'm running MW2 SND 9 hours a day if I can, bro. Honestly, like, this is what Call of Duty has needed for a long time. Like, you've heard people, oh, we need remastered BO2, we need remastered MW2, man. Like, nah, bro, bring back the actual fucking games. Like, make the servers playable, make these games worth getting on. And that looks like that's what Microsoft is committed to doing. I mean, and it goes to show, really, honestly, that everything that the Call of Duty community has been asking for in terms of these games getting the treatment that they deserve from Activision, you know, getting updates that keep the matchmaking possible, actually having quality of life updates and whatnot, it's been possible this whole time. Like, Microsoft comes in a matter of like days with this whole announcement thing looming, right? And they completely overhaul all the matchmaking for all these old titles, and suddenly they're playable again. But you're telling me the multi-billion-dollar corporation in Activision Blizzard couldn't do that? They couldn't figure it out this whole time? They didn't have the tools necessary to make these games playable? Obviously, nobody in their right mind believes that. I mean, if Microsoft could do this shit in a couple of days or whatever, bro, this could have been done years ago by Activision. And honestly, bro, they would have gotten a lot of credit from the community. Like, it's clear that people still want to play these games. It's clear that there's still demand for them, man. I mean, as it stands right now, the old Call of Duty games have all now reached the top-selling list on the Xbox Marketplace, meaning that out of all of the games available on the Xbox / Microsoft Store, As of right now, the best-selling games are Call of Duty titles from 10 to 15 years ago. And why are they the top sellers? It's a couple of reasons. Number one, they're all on sale, so they're like anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks a piece for the most part. So they're actually affordable, right? Because I mean, you go on Steam, these games are fucking $60 or something, right? But they're like 10 to 20 bucks right now. Obviously, Microsoft just made the multiplayers playable again, and so with all of that being said, it's just created a perfect storm where now all of these old COD games have skyrocketed to the top of the charts and are now literally Microsoft's best-selling games. Games from my childhood, from your childhood, right? Like in any other universe, like where I guess like Microsoft doesn't fix these servers, doesn't give this a quality of life update that makes it playable, these games are nowhere near the top sellers, right? Because, I mean, you look at these games over the last few years, you got a couple thousand people playing, and most of them are hackers, right? Like, this is so huge for the Call of Duty franchise, and if they keep giving these games quality of life updates and keeping the matchmaking alive, and actually keep these games affordable / put them on Game Pass, I genuinely can see people wanting to play these long term. I mean, I'm one of these people, bro. I'm here to tell you, like, I am sure that so much of the Call of Duty community would be so excited if Microsoft continues to actually apply themselves at making these playable games again. Because let's be real, these are some of the best first-person shooter games of all time. They deserve to be preserved. They deserve to have lively communities. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video because, like I said, bro, it's very rare that I have a positive update in this franchise, but there it is. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. Well, gonna go back and play some of these old Call of Duty games, man, and signing out.